What's up, y'all? This is Nina Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. I'm so happy you're here because, as you know, we go around this amazing planet looking for amazing humans that come on here to grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. And so I have someone here that has been here before because he is so freaking cool. He's been like a favorite of mine and a favorite of yours. And he is the founder of Mindset Malta, and his name is Ken. And Ken is here because he has another amazing piece of wisdom and program that he has for us. And I wanted to talk to him about that because he has been a real guiding light for frustrated entrepreneurs and helping them like adapt and pivot and find more free time. And he does this through this proprietary system called the ARC method, which we talked about in one of our episodes. And you might even remember our conversation where we talked about his program, Cruising to Clarity. And that would really delve into like 8 building blocks, right, for achieving true freedom and success. And so today I wanted to have him back on because we're going to dive a little bit deeper, peeling back another layer of Ken and his wisdom on the mindset choice, which is the choice that changes everything. So Ken, welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Hey, fantastic! It's always a pleasure to be back. But I see that you've done a lot of homework going through the what we've already gone through, so that's
Yeah.
amazing. And appreciate you taking the time to do that. So it's an absolute pleasure to be here again. I mean, we always have a good time.
Yeah.
It always goes by so quickly. It actually goes by so quickly that we're like, oh, we need to talk about more.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it's an absolute pleasure to be back here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you back. And as you know, I follow you, right? So I see you on LinkedIn. You're always like giving amazing tips and amazing things for us to think about. And so for those who maybe are new to Straight Talk, let's just give us a little bit about who you are.
Okay, who I am? What a big question.
I know.
Who am I?
Right.
Okay. So, Kenatar, you're hearing me speak with an accent that is originally from Toronto, Canada. Yet I have been based in the bang in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea on the island of Malta for the last 45 years.
Wow.
My parents are both Maltese. That's why I ended up back here. I'm based here. I'm based on an island that's 120 square miles,
Wow.
yet still have
I love
the
that.
access, to be able to talk to people on any continent. So that's absolutely amazing. I've been an entrepreneur for over 2 decades now, delving into personal development for over 2 decades. So I've been in retail, I've been in import,
Mhm.
I've been in network marketing. Like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for 2 decades plus now,
Right.
and this is what enticed me, especially with personal development, to work with entrepreneurs, like you were saying, with frustrated entrepreneurs, and there are a ton of them.
Mhm.
To help them to adapt, to pivot, to shift their mindset. And what I've discovered over the years is that mindset is so crucial. I believe, and this is why I created the mindset choice, because it is the choice that changes everything. And and it and what is really important to understand here is that mindset, it is a choice.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
ultimately is
Yep.
a choice to say, listen,
Mhm.
am making a decision to actually dedicate a stipulated amount of time, energy into understanding uh, about mindset. Simply because, and I wanted to put this program together because I've met so many people, and they hear about mindset, and they might dabble a bit, yet we hear about overwhelmment.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I'm talking to someone, and the guy is feeling so overwhelmed in his business that literally, he's crying himself to sleep,
Mm.
crying himself with overwhelmed
That's
with
real.
life in
That's real.
general, not just,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been, let me make something
Yeah.
very clear. I've been there. I've
Yeah.
been there. I've done that. And that overwhelmment, it just literally, it wears the person down.
Yeah. It
The
does.
thing is this, though, and this is the thing that is, I think, is really crucial, is most people will wait, most individuals, entrepreneurs, individuals alike, will wait till they're at that very low point to make a decision to say, okay, I really need to look at something and do
Mhm.
something different. Let me start looking at potentially the way I'm thinking.
Mhm.
And they
Mhm.
wait till that low point. Now I get it. Change happens when you come to a point where enough is enough.
Right. Right.
Yet I'm very much about saying, listen, why wait till that point? If you know, if you have an idea, if you start to create some awareness about your mindset and how it is so powerful, you don't have to let yourself get to that low point,
That's
or if
good.
anything, or if anything, because you will have your challenges still, you're going to have the tools ready to be able to allow yourself not to go to that very low point, but
Mhm.
really pull yourself out much quicker, much
I
quicker.
wonder if that's human nature, Ken, right? Like that's like human nature for us to like wait for something to hurt or ache before we take care of it. You know,
Well,
it's the same thing with
well, the
health
pain just
too,
becomes
right?
the pain just becomes unbearable. Then
Yeah.
that's what it is. Is that the
Yeah.
pain is so big that the person comes to a point where, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
Right. Right.
Potentially,
Right.
like
Right.
you don't have to learn, you don't have to change it, and some people will continue, playing that victim. And
Mhm.
again, not really. Let me rephrase that. Not really playing that victim. I think more often than not, they just don't know otherwise.
Right.
They
Right.
they they don't know that they have. This is the thing that like really blows me away, is that the person that knows, that has the awareness that, listen, you know what, this is truly a superpower. Like, as much as of a cliche it is, but it is a superpower that you have, that is available to you.
Mhm.
Now, if you don't know about it, you don't know about it, and I get it. But if someone is offering it to you and saying to you, listen, and this is the amazing part. Like,
Let's talk about this.
my hand
Yeah.
will be out. I'll be offering it, right? And saying, listen, you just got to delve into this, and start to learn. And it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's really interesting. But I have this, and right now I need, I have this in the way. I got to take care of this, and I got this whatever to take care of, and I got this to take care of. And I'm like, but right now, is that working for you? Like,
Right.
is it working for you? Now, if it
Right.
was working for you, I'd say, yeah, great. But if it's not working for you, what have you got to lose by saying, let me look at this? Because potentially, let's see if this does work. Because if it doesn't work, like, you're just going to be where you are, maybe with a
Mhm.
little more knowledge about something and maybe taking something away from that. Yet, if you're not going to do anything different, and again, we've heard this a million times, things are
Mhm.
not going to change. Things are
Right.
going to change. So
Right.
this is why I decided to create this program. And like I mentioned to you, it's a completely free program,
Wow.
because there
Mhm.
was a reason for that. Because I've had people ask me, say, Ken, but why are you doing this for free? We learn about that in the coaching industry and all that. We learn about, you don't want to offer stuff for free, really, because people don't value it, and I get that. Yet I wanted to offer it for free, simply because I also understand, for the person who really hasn't much awareness about mindset
Yeah.
yet,
Yeah. I was gonna say that. Mhm.
they still haven't quite seen the value. And
Mhm.
if they're not going to see the value, they're not going to be ready to invest in themselves.
It's true. So true.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
unfortunately, so they're not going to be ready to invest in themselves. And being truthful as well, for me, it really serves as a great platform as well, because as you well know, Nina, as well, the service that we're offering, when it comes to mindset, is really not something, it's not a tangible item. I
Mhm.
can't I can't hold this up to you and say, "Hey, listen, this is what you're getting."
Right.
When it comes to
Right.
mindset, I can tell you, listen, you're this is what's going to happen when you start to learn. Your results, your experiences, everything's going to start to change in your world. Yet when someone hears that, they're like, "Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Really?" They're just
Right.
they haven't quite seen the value yet.
Right.
So I said,
That's so
let
true.
me put something together. It's not an extremely long program or anything like that. So a person doesn't have to, invest a ton of time, because the last thing I want to do is add to someone's overwhelmment.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
and I make that a point in any program that I offer anybody. They have ample time to go through it at a pace that they are comfortable with.
Right. Right.
So this program, like, they have ample time to do it. And it's just understanding. The program is really based on understanding the choices that you do have. When it comes to your life, I like to talk about now, like, uh, it's your party,
Right.
right? And there's
Right.
that song, the old song, it's your party, and you can cry if you want to.
Right.
Right? You can. And I delve into this in the mindset choice, right? Yet it is when you start to understand that, you can cry if you want to play that victim, or you can make a choice, make a different choice, because it is your party. So when you are organizing your party, you choose the music, you choose the venue, you choose the people you want to invite. You have the power over all of that, and it's no different than the choice that you have when it comes to your mindset and choosing the life that you want to live. So
How do we make them aware, Ken? How do we make people at least, as we're having this conversation, right? How do we make the people who are listening or
Mhm.
watching aware that this is necessary, right? Because for me, as I was, before I got into personal development, I don't know what, 15, 20 years ago, whatever, I just didn't know I needed it. I just had no
Yeah,
idea, right?
yeah.
So maybe if I bumped into someone who was in that space, I really didn't. So what do we do now to just trigger these people and to let them know that they, just kind of, I don't know, is there something you can say? Is there a trigger? Is there something where we can say to them, hey,
Y- that's a really good question, and it does involve. I believe it involves divine timing. Some people are going to be ready. Like I've been in instances for myself personally where I've had a book available to me, for instance, that was sitting there, and it was sitting there for a couple of years. I just
mm-hmm,
believe that
mm-hmm,
I wasn't ready to read that book at that point in time. And then, once I've read that book, now it's a really important part of my life nowadays. So sometimes there's the divine timing that comes into it.
yeah,
I think as well. I think what's really important is, and just as we're doing here, I think our presence
mm-hmm,
and how we show up
so
can
important.
have a tremendous impact when you are meeting someone. So even
Yeah,
if I'm having a chat with someone, you know, I'm not willing anymore to tell someone, listen, you need this.
yeah,
Because I don't really
doesn't
think
work.
that's my place to tell someone you need this, right?
Right,
Unless they
right.
truly ask me. Yet at the same time, I can say, listen, I have found this. And I think our wording is very important here. And you understand this, Nina. I would say to someone potentially, listen, you know what? Would you be willing to actually consider this? Would you be open to considering it? And
Right.
if you're not, that's okay too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay too.
yeah.
And I think, like I said, our presence and how we show up, I think people are observing and watching. And I think
Oh,
that is a
100%.
tremendous way to impact people. In the
Yeah.
sense that they see you, that they see you, that, life really is not is not allowing life to get in the way.
Yeah, because it's going to. And a lot of that is because of the way we think, right? So
That's all of
I
it
did a
is.
post today because I've been going through a lot of like self-reflection and journaling and just like really going deep into like certain things in my life that I don't like. Right.
Right.
And so I'm going through these battles and I'm like, what is happening here? And I realized that, when we are going through the stuff we're going through, that it's really hard, whether it's finances, whether it's health, whether it's what relationships, whatever it is, you have to really come to terms, which was what happened to me this week, is like Nina, you are 100% committed to the life that you have.
Hmm.
100%. So the decisions that you've made that have put you in this pickle that you don't like is because you 100% committed to making those decisions. Otherwise, you would have made different decisions, right? And I know that could be tough for people sometimes to hear that because they're like, "Whoa, no, that's happening to me because we always have a because. There's always a because, right?"
Well,
And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the truth is there are things that can happen to us. So please, whoever's listening, don't take it as, if you have a sick loved one at home, or you're yourself are very ill, or someone's passed away. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about decisions that we have made or decisions that we're making that are not serving us. And you can't blame anyone else. You have to start with you. And it starts with
Uh,
what we think in our mind,
and
right?
It exactly, and it always starts with us, and it's very important, whatever is happening. So, a couple of things really interesting that you're saying. So, I'm wondering how you're going about. So this is really important, I think, to notice. So, if you're going through certain things right now and looking at the stuff that you don't like in your life right now, this is really important because you really want to not stay in that
Right.
zone
Yeah.
too long. So, because if
Exactly.
you're continuously looking at what you don't like, you're going to continue to see more of what you don't like.
Oh,
Now,
100%. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
100%. So it's really
Yeah.
important to say, okay, there are these things here that I'm not quite yet. Let me shift. Let me look over here
Yes.
and remind
Yes.
myself that, listen, I got all these really good things here. And the
Mhm.
reason I want you to look over here and say, listen, I got all these really good things is because as you do that, these things here that you don't want, they start to shift as well automatically because
Yep.
by looking over here, you've shifted your frequency. It's like having
Mhm.
this cloud where everything that you want and the way you want it is there. And you
Mhm.
start to attract that cloud towards you.
Mhm.
Something else that is really interesting that you said as well, and this is something that I've been really delving in recently as well myself, that I don't know, a program could come out of this eventually as well, is true freedom. Like I originally started off helping entrepreneurs to, adapt, pivot, and move towards time freedom, and I still do that. But now it's much more inclined to moving towards true freedom.
Right.
Now,
So,
time freedom is in
are you
there.
trying to figure out what is true freedom? Because that is deep. You're going
True
deep
freedom,
then.
it's amazing. It's amazing. But one thing that I want to mention, which you said, which you delved into slightly now, is this. One component that I've discovered for myself and the way I'm seeing it now, one component of actually having true freedom is this. I actually have I'm not lying or anything. Look how rough. This is all rough notes
I
on
love
my
it.
true freedom because I'm still delving in it. Like there's nothing, but one of the components that I've come up with that to have true freedom, you no longer care, and I use care in inverted commas here, but
I
in
love
in,
that.
in, in quotation marks. We say inverted commas in Europe, not quotation marks. Had to learn that a long time ago. So you no longer care what other people say
Yeah.
or think
Yep.
about you. You don't care. Now, this ties in with, and it's connected with this, is an acceptance
Mhm.
of everything.
Mhm.
So as we
Oh, that's
begin to
good.
accept
Mhm.
everything, so with and again, I say this in quotation marks, the good, the bad, the not so good, and all the things that are going on in your life, but you
Mhm.
accept everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without judgment.
That when you can really do that,
Yep.
that is one component of having true freedom. The other
Yeah.
one that is very essential in there as well is that whatever is happening in your life, again, your worthiness is never, ever, 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 let me emphasize it, ever compromised.
Yes.
So when you truly understand that and you truly have a grasp of that, okay, this just happened and it appears that this person did this to me, or this person said this to me, or this incident happened to me, your worthiness is never compromised. So you have a business and it's again, I'll put them in quotation marks, it failed or it's failing right now. Your worthiness is still not compromised. It's never
I
compromised.
love that.
And as you start to understand that and truly believe that it's never compromised, now you're bordering onto like nothing is really going to bother you. There's nothing that is really going to get in the way of you continuing to move forward, whether
Right.
you're hitting potentially a low right now or it's a high, or your worthiness is never compromised because you're not depending on the external world. You're not expending the external world for that worthiness. It's coming
Mhm.
from within.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
and
that's
and
so
and
good.
yeah,
So good.
so this is where I'm taking, like, and I'm intertwining all of this, whether it's the cruising to clarity program, whatever this is going to be intertwined in there, as is, you mentioned, like the arc method. that's all intertwined there. And the arc is for those who haven't heard before, but I chose the arc method simply because an arc is one of the strongest foundations when it comes to architecture.
Hmm.
And the arc method is all about a very strong foundation when it comes to mindset and
Right.
your way of thinking and the way you're living, really and truly. And that incorporates 5 pillars: awareness, adapting. So awareness is the learning,
Right. Right.
continuously learning, right? The adapting is change, inevitable, right? The alignment, which is inspiration. The applying, which is inspired action. And the allowing, which is trust.
So
And
good.
those are always at the foundation of any program that I'm doing. They're intertwined there. I might not be telling you, listen, we're talking about awareness, but you're learning.
Right.
You're creating more, you're learning. And as you create more awareness, as you begin to learn more and you have that awareness, things start to change, because now you're actually potentially looking at your life from a different angle, from a different perception than you were looking at it before.
Right. Right. So tell me about, since this program, since the, one of the newest of your programs, the mindset choice,
Yeah,
what does that look like for people? Like, so if for those who are listening, because you're so full of wisdom, Ken. This is why we and you always get on these calls, because I get so much out of our conversations. I love having conversations that are, you know they're spiritual, but they're also cerebral, and they make you think and they feel
yeah.
right. And I love conversations that way. And that's the kind of conversations I always have when I have those conversations with you. And
I
that's why
appreciate
you
that.
are always memorable to me. That's why I follow you. This is why I listen to your
Oh, it's
videos
not
when
my
you
good
post
looks.
them. That has a little bit to do with it, but I'm married, so but like, I want to know about this mindset choice, because I
Yeah,
want people who are maybe on the fence or a little bit afraid or don't know what they're, where to go.
yeah,
This is, I think, a beautiful gateway into your mind and what it is you do with people. So tell me about
yeah.
that.
So this is to me, this is a perfect way for someone to, really start to make some shifts and start to understand about mindset and where they're going. So what I've done is, it's not a long program. So to make this really simple for people, and to just, it's based on 8, I call it 8 days. Okay.
Oh,
Yet
good.
eight
Mm-hmm.
8 days is simply this. Day 0 is about a 9-minute video that is just giving you some instructions so that you have the best experience possible,
Wonderful.
that the person, has the best experience possible. And I'll tell you why, because I created some engagement in this as well. Now, day 1, day 2, and day 3 are half an hour videos, and then, if you are actually engaging in the program, you also have 4 bonus days of 15 minutes each. So that's the whole program. So we're talking about, in total,
Yeah.
about a two and a half hour
Yeah.
program. Now, you don't get it all at one go. I release one part every day.
I love that. That's good.
What the participant gets
Mhm.
to do is to choose when they want to start. So the participant can tell me, listen, I would like to start whenever they decide to register. That's they're going to be their starting date. Because
Mhm.
up until now, honestly, a lot of the people who have started, I've had conversations like this. So I actually say, listen, when do you want to start? Some people say, oh, I can't start before next week because I have this, this, and this. What I say, no problem. But you decide when you want to start. Now, for those listening here, they're going to be able to go somewhere where they can just register, and on that day, within 24 hours, they will have access. But from the day you get access, and this is what I've done, this is where I put a bit of a limitation. You have 12 days to complete the program. So I've given you four
Okay.
extra days. I've given you four
Okay.
extra days. So you can do it any way you want. Like you can do it one day at a time if you want, and you will receive one video at a time. You could wait 3 days and they say, I'm going to do 3 days together. It's up to you. As long as it's all done within the 12 days.
Okay.
After the 12 days, you no longer have access. Now,
Right.
what I've done as well, because I wanted there to be a personal touch in there as well. So what I've done, and I've experimented with this, and it's working really well. Below each video, they're going to see a link to my Mindset Malta Facebook page. which I highly suggest they follow, like and follow, just so they can continue
Right.
to get more. They can get more value because I post there very regularly, as you mentioned. And but on that page, they're also going to see a link to my WhatsApp or my Messenger. They can choose WhatsApp or Messenger. It's up to
Right.
them. So as they're watching the videos, I'm going to be prompting you with some words. I might say, might be talking about values, for instance, and I say, type in the word values. And as you're watching, you type in your WhatsApp values. I am going to receive that personally. That
Right.
means I'm going to be responding to you personally, potentially in real time, depending what time you're watching it, the time differences and all that. Because
Right.
hey, I need my beauty sleep. If it's if it's
Of
past a
course you
certain
do.
time, you're not. But I will respond. I will respond. At some point I will respond. It could potentially happen real
But
time.
think about that. I
So
mean, that you're also talking about a free program right now,
yeah, yeah,
right? That's a
absolutely
lot
free.
of value.
And I'm going to engage with them. And if they have some questions they want to ask, they can ask that too. And I like to be totally transparent and authentic. I mentioned this to everybody. On day three, I will be speaking to you about an offer that I do have for the Cruising to Clarity besides the lesson of the day.
Right.
I don't get into any pricing. I just tell you what the Cruising to Clarity is all about. And then I just ask you if this is something that interests you, just type in very interested.
Yeah.
If they're going to type in very interested, I will receive that. Then that would require whoever that is for us to have a chat, to have a call, so that I give them more information, no obligation, and then they can make a decision then. So
Okay.
that's just being totally transparent,
I
totally
love
upfront.
that.
I got nothing to
Yeah.
hide, nothing to. This is if and I say this to everybody: if you go through the mindset choice, get some value, and we never speak again, that's fine as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
fine as well.
Right.
So that's really what it comprises. It needs a bit of time, a bit of dedication on the person's side, whoever's going to register, to say, listen, you know what? Yeah, I want to do this. I want to learn a little more.
Well, they could stop watching Netflix for one episode. It's fine.
There you
I
go.
mean,
There
we
you
have to
go.
we have to like really prioritize ourselves. Like honestly, I stopped watching TV a while ago. So,
Yeah.
but I remember that took up a lot of time watching TV and making sure I got my series in and all that stuff. And 9, 10 hours later, I'm frustrated
Right.
because I didn't get my business whatever done. And
Then
I
you're
was like,
beating yourself up, right?
right, right. And then I'm like, this makes 0 sense right now,
Sense.
like zero,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I'm talking about with, sometimes we have to become self-aware. And
Yeah.
and I think sometimes it's the discomfort of something that makes you become aware that you need to change things, right? So I love that you're trying to say, well, what if you don't have to become so have so much discomfort? What if you can just circumvent that and just like
Yeah.
really learn how to navigate it when it does come, because it will, right?
Yeah.
Life throws a
Absolutely.
lot of curveballs. So how wonderful would it be to have already knowledge under your belt and
Yep.
expand the way you think? It's like you said, Ken, right? You had the book there for a long time, and it wasn't until you were ready to pick it up that it transformed a lot of your life, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
the reason I wanted you back on here is because for those who are listening, and listening ship has been going great. Straight Talk is doing great, which is wonderful. People go down that rabbit hole. They tell me all the time. They go down the Neena portal and they can't get off. And it's that's great. That's what I want to do. So
Yep.
hopefully, as people are jumping on right now and they're listening, that's what I want them to take away from this. Don't overthink this. It's not that difficult. Like
Uh,
if you're going to sign on. So you're going to give 2.5 hours of your time that's going to help develop you. Hello.
and spread
You
over
know?
12 days.
Right, right, exactly. Exactly. And the thing is that we do that for a movie though. We do that
Oh,
for
yeah.
a show. We do that for all of these things that give you zero in return, right?
Yeah.
Except for that immediate dopamine hit, and then you're off to being the same person you were before you saw that movie.
This is all
So
about value. This is all
it's all
about
about
value.
value.
So
Correct.
if the person listening here understands the value, I can guarantee you, probably any person, if I said to them, listen, can you come up with, if you come up with $200, I will have the keys to a Ferrari for you.
Yeah, yeah.
They will
They'll go
find a
find it right
way.
now. Yep.
They'll find a way to get those,
Yep.
because they see the value, for
Right.
instance. The
Right.
person that doesn't see the value won't. So this is what I'm saying is imagine that you could turn and create the results that you want. You knew for certain that with the way you think you could change the results that you want.
Right.
Wouldn't you do this? Wouldn't you
Exactly.
dedicate 2.5 hours over the course of 8 to 12 days so that you could actually turn around the results of the areas that you're not
Exactly.
happy with?
Exactly. Yes,
That's all.
exactly.
That's all it comes down
Exactly.
to.
So for those who are like action takers and
Yeah,
ready to go ahead and do what they got to do, give us where they go to get this information.
perfect. So they can go to growth for the number four entrepreneurs.com. So
Oh, okay,
growth
that's easy.
for entrepreneurs.com. There they're going to get a breakdown of what the mindset choice is all about. There's
Mhm.
actually a short video that I put up there as well, which explains all the benefits they're going to get
Awesome.
from by going through the mindset choice. So they don't even really need to read anything. They just need to
Mhm.
listen to a 5-minute video.
Okay. And where
And
else
they'll
can
have
they
it all.
follow you though and connect with you and all of that?
I would say one of the best ways to connect with me is go to the Mindset Malta Facebook page. I'm also on Instagram, Mindset Malta, and like and follow there because I'm pretty well posting on a daily basis there, just giving quick video uh, pieces of my what I've experienced, things that they can use on a daily basis, start to
Awesome.
understand, and just get more and more value. That's the reason I want them to go there, is they can continue to get more value.
Right.
That's what I would say
Right.
would be the best way to connect with me is.
Oh, there's a lot of value because I follow, so I know.
Oh, and I got
But
new
you
stuff
know,
coming up pretty soon too
I
on
cannot
face
wait. You
on
know,
you got
Ken,
no.
I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for your time and your wisdom. I really am. Every time you come, you leave my audience and me with so much value. Honestly, this is not just a fluff talk, like, oh, let's just all, sing kumbaya together. But you get into like real steps and real like ideas, and you're very thoughtful. And I'm really, really grateful that you came on. So
and
thank you
and
for spending time with me.
Yeah, and likewise, it's mutual respect and
Thank
appreciation
you.
that you're willing to have me back a number of times. And every time I'm thinking of something new and that, you're more than willing to share that with other people
A
as well.
hundred
So
percent.
I'm very, very appreciative of that.
Likewise. Thank you so much. And guys, I told you he would leave you with even more wisdom. I love peeling back Ken and finding out what's in there because he always leaves us with so much freaking value. So make sure that you go and follow him on the Mindset Malta Facebook page. Go on to Growth for Entrepreneurs, the number four,
None for.
growth for entrepreneurs.com, and make sure that you follow him there as well. Like he said, there's a short video there. It'll explain everything to you. Stop waiting for like all these things to come against you for you to realize that you need to shift your mindset. Let's just start shifting it now. Hello. Let's go ahead and do things ahead of whatever's coming because life is like that. It'll throw things at you. Things are coming, but let's at least get ourselves prepared. Okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I love you. Like, share, subscribe. And if you know someone who can really utilize this material and this uh, website and everything Ken has said, make sure that you share it with them as well, because that's what it's about, right? Grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. Thank you guys for being here. Neena Perez, Straight Talk, no sugar added. Until next time.